Welcome, curious friend, to another deep dive. It's great to have you with us.
Yes, welcome.
Today, we're really digging into Genesis chapter 26, a fascinating chapter.
Absolutely. We're exploring it through, our Messianic Jewish lens.
Right, so you'll hear us using Yahweh for God's name and Yeshua for Jesus.
Huh.
It helps us connect with the original context.
And our goal today, it's really to unpack Isaac's journey here, to see Yahweh's covenant faithfulness.
And the Messianic connections, right?
Exactly. How it all points forward, woven through Torah, the prophets, the writings, and the New Testament. Truth for us today.
So let's dive in. When I first read this chapter again, my immediate reaction was, wait a second. Didn't Abraham do this? The famine, the whole she's my sister thing with Rebecca.
It's pretty striking, that parallel.
Yeah. But then, as I read on, it felt like the focus really shifted. It became about Isaac himself, his own trials, his own walk after Abraham.
Like a proving ground.
Exactly. A test of his own faith, maybe his obedience too.
And what stood out to me, actually, was Yahweh stepping in right away.
Oh, you mean the reassurance?
Yeah, that direct reaffirmation of the covenant. Yeah. Right there at the start, despite the challenges, despite, Isaac being human, just like us.
Yeah.
Yahweh's promise is just solid. And you mentioned digging in the wells. That whole sequence.
Oh, definitely.
It feels like such a spiritual metaphor. Perseverance, trust, finding peace, even when there's conflict. It shows both Yahweh's faithfulness and, our own weaknesses.
Okay, let's unpack that first part then, verses 1 to 5. Yahweh's word and this test of faith.
Right.
It starts with a famine, a severe one. That immediately puts Isaac on the spot, doesn't it? Just like Abraham faced.
It does. And famine back then, it wasn't just an inconvenience, it was potentially life-threatening.
So the pull towards Egypt must have been huge.
Absolutely. Egypt was the breadbasket, the place you went for survival. It represented the worldly solution, logical even.
But Yahweh says...
He gives a direct command, do not go down to Egypt. Simple as that. Lie in the land I tell you about.
Wow. No ambiguity there.
None. It demanded total reliance on Yahweh's word, on his provision, trusting him over, common sense maybe, over survival instincts.
That's a huge act of obedience right there.
It is. And right in that command, Yahweh doesn't just demand obedience, he lavishes promises.
The covenant reaffirmation.
Exactly. I will be with you, bless you, multiply your descendants like the stars, give them all these lands, and in your seed, all nations will be blessed.
He lays it all out again. For Isaac specifically.
Yeah, and that's foundational, isn't it? It shows the covenant isn't based on how well Isaac performs. It's based on Yahweh's faithfulness, his enduring plan. Isaac didn't earn this renewal. It's grace, continuing the promise.
And that connects forward.
Beautifully. It foreshadows the new covenant, secured not by our efforts, but by Yeshua. He's the ultimate seed of Abraham.
Bringing blessing to all nations.
Through grace. Totally grace. But, grace doesn't negate obedience. Isaac's obedience here is his response to that command, to that grace. Faith and obedience, they walk together.
Which makes the next part almost painful. Or maybe just very human.
You mean the deception? Verses 6 to 11.
Yeah. After that direct command, that amazing promise, he falls right back into fear. He tells the people in Gerar that Rebecca is his sister.
Just like Dad did.
Exactly. Twice. It's almost comical, but also sobering. You wonder if Abraham ever warned him.
Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But the text includes it deliberately, I think.
To show what?
Maybe how easily those patterns, those fears can be passed down. Or just how human we are. How we lean on our own cleverness, our own strategies.
Instead of trusting Yahweh's protection.
Even when he's just promised it so clearly, it makes Isaac relatable, doesn't it? We've all been there. Fear wins out over faith sometimes, even after Yahweh's proven himself.
And the way he gets caught. It's not some big miracle reveal.
No.
Abimelech, the king, sees him caressing Rebecca. That's the word used. It's intimate.
It is. A very human moment.
And Abimelech just knows. He sees the affection, realizes she can't be just his sister, and calls him out.
Right. The truth comes out through a simple observation of their relationship.
Yeah.
But even in that, you see Yahweh's sovereignty, don't you? His protection. Isaac messes up, driven by fear.
But Yahweh still shields him. And the covenant line.
Exactly. Abimelech actually warns his people not to harm Isaac or Rebekah. He recognizes something's going on, perhaps Yahweh's hand.
So even in failure, Yahweh's plan isn't derailed.
Never. And this points us again to Yeshua, doesn't it? He's our ultimate protector. His righteousness covers our failings and secures that covenant promise.
Where we stumble, he stands firm.
Yes. But it's also a nudge for us, isn't it? To strive for integrity even when we're afraid. Yahweh expects that walk.
Okay, so after that near miss, we get into the whole narrative about the wells, verses 12 onwards.
Right. And water in that part of the world. It was everything. Life, wealth.
And a source of conflict.
Huge conflict. So, first, Isaac experiences this incredible blessing. He sows seed during a famine and reaps 100-fold.
That's supernatural. Direct provision from Yahweh, tied to his obedience earlier.
Clearly. But that very blessing stirs up envy. The Philistines get jealous.
And they stop up his father's wells, Abraham's wells.
An act of pure spite and aggression, trying to cut off his lifeline, push him out.
But Isaac's response is interesting. He doesn't seem to fight back, not directly.
No, he perseveres. He moves on and starts redigging the wells his father dug, honoring that legacy.
And that's where we get those names right. Isaac.
Isaac, meaning contention. Because they contended over that first. Well, he redug.
There's a conflict right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't stay there fighting. He moves, digs another.
And they fight over that one too.
Yep. So
Right.
he calls it sitna, which means opposition or enmity. The conflict is escalating.
It feels like a spiritual battle playing out over water rights.
You could definitely see it that way. He's facing real hostility, yet he keeps trusting Yahweh, keeps moving forward. I know I've had times that felt like Isaac or Sitna, you know.
Oh, sure, we all have.
Yeah.
Where you just feel stuck in opposition.
And it takes that perseverance, that trust to just keep digging, spiritually speaking.
Until he gets to Rehoboth.
Yes, Rehoboth. He digs a third well, and this time, peace. No argument.
And the name means broad places or room.
Right. And Isaac says, now Yahweh has given us room, and we will flourish in the land. It's a declaration of faith and peace.
That journey, Isaac to Sitna to Rehoboth,
Yeah.
it's powerful.
It's such a picture for us. Perseverance, trusting Yahweh through struggles. It leads from that contention, that opposition, eventually to peace and flourishing.
And the Messianic connection there.
Well, think about Yeshua offering living water. Remember in John 7, if anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink.
Wow, okay.
And Isaiah talks about drawing water from the wells of salvation. Yeshua is that well. He is our source of spiritual life, our Rehoboth. He gives us that spiritual room.
Exactly. Room to breathe, room to flourish, peace that the world conflicts can't touch. He transforms the Isaac and Sitna of our lives into his peace.
That's a beautiful way to see it. Finding room in him. So Isaac finds Rehoboth, finds peace. But the chapter isn't over.
No, there's another twist.
Right. Verses 26 onward. Suddenly Abimelech shows up again, the king who had issues with him before.
Along with his commander and advisor, they come to Isaac.
Seeking peace. After all that contention over the wells, why?
Their reason is simple but profound. They tell Isaac, we have certainly seen that Yahweh is with you. Now you are the blessed of Yahweh.
They saw it. They recognized Yahweh's hand on him.
Yes. Even as outsiders to the covenant, they saw the undeniable blessing, the prosperity despite everything, and they knew its source. They wanted peace with the one Yahweh favored.
That's incredible. It shows the power of a life lived under Yahweh's blessing.
And it foreshadows, I think, the nations, the Gentiles being drawn to the light, seeing Yahweh's work through his people, through Messiah, and wanting to be part of that peace. A picture of reconciliation. But then, like you said, the chapter ends on such a jarring note.
It does feel abrupt, doesn't it?
Esau. At 40, he marries 2 Hittite women. And the text says it was a grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. Why end there?
It's not just a random family detail, it's a significant spiritual statement, especially coming right after the covenant making.
How so?
By marrying Hittite women, people from the land Yahweh had promised away from them, people outside the covenant faith, Esau showed where his priorities lay.
Not with the covenant promises.
It seems not. He chose personal desire, maybe assimilation, over the distinct calling and values of his covenant family. It was a violation of Yahweh's design and purpose for them.
And it foreshadows his later actions, like selling the birthright.
Precisely. It reveals a pattern of, well, profanity, treating sacred things as common, and you see the immediate impact, deep grief for his parents. It's a stark reminder about our own choices, especially in relationships, and how they align or don't with our covenant walk.
That really brings it home to application, doesn't it? Thinking about Isaac's journey, his obedience, even his failings, his perseverance.
Yeah, how do we apply that?
Well, how do we rely on Yahweh's provision, his Rehoboth, instead of running to our own Egypts when trouble hits? It's easy to seek worldly solutions first.
It is. But Isaac's story shows Yahweh's faithfulness holds even when we wobble. He protected Isaac despite the deception. He protects us.
So that journey from Isaac and Sitna to Rehoboth, it's our journey too.
Absolutely. In Yeshua, we have that living water, that spiritual space to find peace even amidst conflict. Practically, that means intentionally turning to him daily, prayer, his word.
Seeking his kingdom first.
Right. Instead of reacting out of fear or trying to fix things in ways that ignore his principles, remembering his plan holds even if we stumble.
And Esau's story. It's a caution about our own covenantal choices.
Definitely. The choices we make, especially in core relationships, have huge spiritual weight. They affect our heritage, maybe for generations. We need to be intentional about living out our faith consistently.
So, the main takeaway from Genesis 26.
For me, it's Yahweh's unwavering grace and faithfulness. That's our rock. Even with our weaknesses, his plan of redemption through Yeshua stands firm.
And trusting in that plan, in that covenant, brings a peace and flourishing the world can't offer.
Exactly. It empowers us to live lives that honor him, following his commands, which are still true, still life-giving.
That's a great place to pause. So, maybe something for you, our listener, to think about this week. Where might Yahweh be calling you to trust his Rehoboth, his place of peace, even if you feel stuck in contention in Esek or Sitnah?
Good question. Thank you so much for joining us today on this deep dive into Genesis 26. We hope it's been insightful for your walk with Yeshua.
Yes, thank you. We hope you'll join us next time as we continue exploring the richness of the Torah, chapter by chapter.
As we wrap up today's study, let's pause and reflect on what we've learned and receive the blessings of Yahweh.